Nobody does it, Bennett. Yes, I've gone and said it. Movies and games, some things that are lame. Nobody does it, Bennett. Worst to the worst, right on. Is this the worst thing that I've ever seen? Worst to the worst, oh yeah. It feels so dirty that I'll never be clean. Worst of the worst.
Hello, and welcome to Nobody Does It, Bennett. Worst of the worst for Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I am your host, the Greg Bennett Experience, and joining me tonight, once again, for the man flu episode of Worst of the Worst, because both of us have colds, Jeff. How you doing, Jeff? You keeping warm?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Good, yep. I'm just at the end of my flu, so I'm okay.
I went to that part where, you can't smell anything. So I've got that real,
So you can't smell how bad this movie is?
I could not smell how bad this movie was.
Thank goodness.
What we are going to do on this show tonight is go through the movie Mortal Kombat Annihilation. We will talk about the good points and most definitely talk about the bad points. At the end of our rundown of the movie, we will give you our ratings. But we'll add an extra part to this. After we give our ratings, we will also give our opinions on how the movie could have been better.
By not doing it at all.
Apart from that, it's the only rule is it has to be made. If you like what you're hearing or have some movie choices you would wish us to cover, well, why not contact us? Who knows, your movie might just be covered. You can message us through Nobody Does It Bennett's Facebook page, or by hitting us up on the Twitter at NobodyDIBennett. That's NobodyDIBennett. You can also email us at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com. That's Bennett with 2 N's and 2 T's. Before we get into the movie Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Jeff, what are your general thoughts on the movie itself and the actual game series?
Okay, so the movie itself, not great. Really, I mean, apart from the music was amazing. And I'm going to stick with the theory that they blew their budget on the music and that's why the movie's not as great.
The music is amazing.
Yeah, the music's just awesome.
The main theme, of course.
Yes, yeah. I watched the movie before I actually played the games, and I thought the Mortal Kombat theme was going to be part of the game. I was highly disappointed it wasn't.
Do you know who the original game was built around? Before he said no, and they actually changed the whole thing. The first Mortal Kombat was actually supposed to be a Jean-Claude Van Damme thing. He was supposed to be the main character.
Oh, really?
It was supposed to be a game created on his character.
Crazy. For Johnny Cage?
Well, that's what they reckon. Johnny Cage is actually based off what Jean-Claude Van Damme would have been.
Oh.
But he said no. And so they're like, all right, we'll just make our own game. And all of a sudden became Mortal Kombat.
So he said no and went over to Street Fighter instead. That movie was not any better.
Maybe that's why he had to say no. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Yeah, so the game series itself, you play a lot of the games?
Yes, I've played as many of them as I can. I think I've played more of the later ones than I have any of the earlier ones. I don't think I've played any of the earlier ones, to be honest.
I think the one I played the most of is called Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Came out about 2002. I think it was the first time that Quan Chi comes into it.
Oh, Quan Chi, yep.
I think it's the first time he came into it was in Deadly Alliance. But yeah, my experience on Mortal Kombat, I've obviously talked about Deadly Alliance. I did kind of like the early games just because, you're a kid and it had blood in it. It's like, this is badass because it has blood. This is amazing.
It wasn't just so much the blood for me, it was the fatalities that got me into it. There are some epic fatalities. There still is.
There is, yeah. Street Fighter was more about the combos and the power-ups, and this is more about the violence.
And some good violence, too.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat Annihilation itself, well, I'll give you my ratings at the end. How's that?
Yeah. The games were they're so good. I think the latest movie that I've seen that was a Mortal Kombat-based one was that Scorpion one. That was really good, that animated Mortal Kombat movie.
That was. It's kind of like an origin tale for Scorpion.
Yeah, and that was quite good. The first movie, the very first Mortal Kombat, was great. I really enjoyed it for what it was. But this second one was just garbage. I couldn't remember exactly how bad it was, and I've just finished watching it again with Greg, and yeah, no words.
The more you watch it, the worse it is. Like when I first saw it when I was a kid, I was like 12, when I saw the movie with my brother Ross. I loved it because I was 12 and I thought this is amazing.
Yeah.
Then you watch it about 10 years later and you go, oh, it's not as good as I remember. And then you watch it again, you're like, this is atrocious. Right, so before we go into the movie itself, since we've talked about comparisons between the first movie and the new one, I thought we'd have some facts or some budgets and box office comparisons, just to give you an idea of how this movie really did just screw up in a major way. So Mortal Kombat Annihilation was released in 1997 by New Line Cinemas and is the sequel to Mortal Kombat from 1995. Let's do some comparisons. Estimated budgets. Mortal Kombat 995 had a budget of $18 million US. Rather, Mortal Kombat Annihilation had a budget of $30 million US.
Makes absolutely no sense, that.
Almost twice the budget, yet they couldn't keep any of the original cast pretty much, apart from Liu Kang and a couple like the Reptile guy.
Yeah, it was weird. They brought him back, but as Sub-Zero.
And they replaced them all with pretty much TV actors.
Yep. I was just looking through the cast list, and Cyrax, Scorpion, Noob Saibot, Tarakantan or something. I don't know. I'm going to get annihilated in the comments for that one.
Annihilated!
Baraka, 3. So there's obviously there's 3 different Barakas, and this guy played the third one. All of those that I just mentioned, they're all played by the same guy, JJ Perry. So he played Cyrax, Scorpion, Noob Saibot, the Tarakantan or whatever, and Baraka.
Okay, so he was doing a lot of them.
That's how good their budget was. They had to hire the same guy for 4 different characters.
Probably why I didn't see Scorpion much in this movie too.
No, 5 different characters. My God, that was terrible.
With the box office revenue, Mortal Kombat 995 had a box office revenue of $122.2 million off its budget of 18, which is, very, very good. Then you got Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It did $51.3 million off its $30 million budget, so it didn't even pull in half of what the first Mortal Kombat did.
Oh, I just realised Ray Park's in this movie. He's Raptor 3 in one of those Baraka things.
Rotten Tomato scores. Mortal Kombat 995 had a critic response of 43% and an audience response of 57%, which is about fair for the first film.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation, do you know what the critics gave it?
It better not have been high. It better not have been high. Please tell me it was not high.
They gave it a critical response of 2%.
Oh.
Didn't get 0.
That's painful.
And the audience gave it 25%. There's a quarter of the audience out there that thinks it's good.
Well, I mean, maybe they just mean parts of it were good enough that they'd watch it again. Because if I was to base certain movies like this one on just parts of it, I probably would watch it again. But overall, no.
Also, some of it could be nostalgia. When you were a kid, you might have thought it was really good. Yeah. And if they were told to watch it again, they might change their minds.
I was just reading through the cast list, and the person who played Melina is a different actor to the Katana, which makes no sense, because Melina's supposed to be like a clone of Katana, so wouldn't it make sense to just have the same actor but wearing different clothes?
No, because this movie doesn't want you to do anything smart. It'd be easier to do that, but nah. Let's have her in a cage the whole entire time instead.
Yeah.
Alright, Jeff, let's get ready to fight our way through Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Let's hope it doesn't end in a fatality for us.
I'm pretty sure it will.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Finish him.
Nobody does it, Bennett. Movie reviews and pitches.
Movie starts with the iconic Mortal Kombat music with the dragon logo being engulfed in flames. Mortal Kombat!
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't sound like that. I probably wouldn't have watched the movie.
Cut to Liu Kang walking into the Buddhist monastery from the first Mortal Kombat film, which is called the Temple of the Light. Raiden, who is now played by James Remar. Remember him, Jeff, from a couple of weeks ago in The Phantom?
He said quietly. Yeah.
And not Christophe Lambert from the first film.
Yeah.
He narrates the story of the first Mortal Kombat film. This movie begins where the last movie left off, with some slight differences. At the end of Mortal Kombat, Shao Kahn was a massive giant in the sky. But not in this version.
Weird.
The cast of the last film, some characters being recast, are greeted by Shao Kahn and his minions. The effects look so bad. The acting is very forced. It's got Raiden here going like, Shao Kahn, Emperor of Outworld. And then it's got Shao Kahn. The Earth was created in 6 days.
No. That sounds like Skeletor, and Skeletor does not sound anything in like...
The Earth was created in 6 days.
No, you go, the Earth was created in 6 days.
You make him sound like an old man.
It's because he did. Sounded like a whitey old man.
So too shall it be destroyed. On the 7th day, mankind will rest in peace. Oh my God, it's the Undertaker.
Yep. Except for the Undertaker was way better looking than that. Although, if I was to be honest, he does look like a really cheap version of Kane.
He does, yeah. Kane from WWE, in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah.
Katana's screeching mother, Sindel, has teamed up with Shao Kahn. And she's like, Mother, you're alive. Too bad you
We'll be dead.
No, that's how she goes, too bad you will die.
Yeah. And the look on her face was the same as we had, which was, what?
Yeah, and she just has weird spacing in between that. You will die. It's like, oh, all right.
It's supposed to be like an emphasis, I reckon.
I think so. It's supposed to be dramatic, but it just looks stupid. So apparently Liu Kang's victory at Mortal Kombat closed the portal between Earth and Outworld, but Shao Kahn reopened it because screw the rules.
Yeah.
Raiden warned Shao Kahn not to mess with Earth, as it is protected by him. Shao Kahn reminds Raiden, as long as the Outworld portals remain open, Earth world will become Outworld. Mwahahaha. Pretty much meaning that Raiden's power will diminish more and more as long as the portals remain open. Shao Kahn pushes Raiden over, only for Raiden to fight back. The fighting, the CGI effects, the blurry grey smear that the picture has been saturated in, it's all really, really bad.
It's all in the hips.
Shao Kahn grabs Sonya, thanks to a handy lackey throwing Shao Kahn a whip. Shao Kahn says, "This ends now," as he has his foot over Sonya's throat. Johnny Cage, who has now been recast as some generic guy we've never seen before, tries to fight back, but gets his ass kicked. Shao Kahn then grabs Cage by the head and tells Raiden to surrender, or he will kill Johnny. Raiden puts a shield over Shao Kahn's generals, saying how he will take them if he does. Raiden says, "Earth does not bend to the will of tyrants." Kahn tells Raiden to come bow at his feet. When Raiden releases the shield, Kahn breaks Johnny's neck, killing him. Then Raiden gets fireballed. Apparently in 6 days the worlds will fully merge, and Earth will be no more. Shao Kahn says, "It has begun."
It has begun.
Shang Tsung said it better, and Raiden said it better before that in the first one.
Yep.
But not this time. The crappy looking filter is then removed as Shao Kahn and his generals leave. Liu Kang and co are chased by lucky ninjas. What the heck is my word doing?
Lucky. These ninjas are so lucky to even be in this movie. I can't.
I was about Liu Kang and co are chased by ninjas. Raiden hides the group away in a secret cave.
The Bat Cave?
Is this some weird cave that all of a sudden they are in?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's a portal. Probably CGI, I didn't notice. I probably tried to blur it out of my mind. Raiden then gives a lot of exposition about what's going on Earth. Apparently Katana's mother, Sindel, is the key. Shao Kahn has apparently resurrected Sindel to keep these portals open indefinitely. By reuniting Katana with Sindel, Khan's spell will be broken. Sindel's soul will be at peace, and the portals closed. Liu Kang asks why the other gods would allow this. Raiden says because they won't know Khan has done this. I'll get this out of the way now so we don't have to do it later on. Eventually we have to go, Khan! Like in Star Trek, Rough Khan.
You can. I'm fine.
People want to ask us, why have you did a Khan thing and all this? We did it now, right? We went, Khan! Now it's done. Liu Kang says he beat Shang Tsung so he can beat Khan. Raiden tells Liu Kang that yes, even though you beat a great sorcerer, you would be no match for Khan. He doesn't say why. He just says he wouldn't. Raiden then blasts a hole in the wall. Raiden sets each member on the group on their own path. The group then travels by Velosphere? I think it's called Velosphere, what those things are. The group then travels by Velosphere to get to the place on Earth they need to be. Apparently Velospheres can go anywhere on Earth in hours. Think like those big American gladiator cage spheres that travel at insane speeds through tunnels like a pinball machine. The inner winds propel you. You will be moving so fast it'll be as if you're not moving at all. So, okay. Sure.
It's funny though, they say that and then you see it and you can clearly tell that they feel like they're moving.
Yeah, because you can see him holding on. It's like, hold on to
they're
me.
like, how fast are we moving? Because I still feel like I'm moving.
Sonya needs to find Jax, as together they can be strong. Liu Kang needs to seek Nightwolf, but Liu Kang will not find Nightwolf. Nightwolf will find Liu Kang. Raiden will go talk to the Elder Gods and demand answers. Techno music starts as Liu and Katana ride the Velosphere. Anytime there's any action in this film or anything that involves moving, pretty much, all of a sudden some techno music will kick in. And it is the best part of the movie.
It's good.
It's the best part of it. Meanwhile, in Outworld, Shao Kahn sits on a throne when his father enters the room. Shao Kahn now has his skull mask off and is now a boring-looking bald guy. Shao Kahn's father asks him if Raiden begged for his life before he killed him. Shao Kahn then does a really unnecessary flip down to meet his father, saying how Raiden is of no concern to them now. Fun fact, the subtitles of a DVD I have for Mortal Kombat Annihilation have misspelt Raiden. They spell it R-A-Y-D-E-N, and it should be R-A-I-D-E-N. It's like their own DVD. The own DVD they released, because I got it on DVD years ago, have misspelt Raiden. That's how screwed up this film is. Daddy Khan is upset that Shao Kahn let Raiden live. It reminds Shao that he broke the ancient rules opening the portal to Earth. If the Elder Gods find out, they'll be in deep doo-doo. The actor who plays Daddy Khan is hilariously bad. He almost sounds like he's trying to make an accent, but he can't quite do it.
Maybe he just knows how bad this movie is and just can't be put
Tell
in
me,
the
did
effort.
Raiden beg for his life before you killed him?
No, Daddy. No, he did not.
Katana and Liu Kang get in a fight with a new character called Smoke. Cool techno music starts in this fight. Fighting is better in this than it was in the beginning. Not great, but better. A lot of slow-mo used. Katana's fan blades are cool looking. I like when she falls them out, she has all those fan blades. Look pretty cool.
The techno music, my second favourite song in this. So the first one is obviously the Mortal Kombat theme, and the second one is the fire. And it goes, fire!
And it's in this one, isn't it?
Yep, that's part of this fight scene. And then it goes back to just being an awful movie. Depressing.
Smoke is about to fire a second missile of the fight when all of a sudden he is frozen by Sub-Zero. But he died in the first film. Smoke was the solid 2 out of 10 fight. Didn't use any of his actual smoke powers from the games, and is heavily based off the MK3 look, as he's more robotic than Ninja.
And it's interesting because do they say he smoke?
The only way I found out was when I looked up to see who he was on the cast.
Because, yeah, it's weird.
They never say Smoke. Or maybe Sub-Zero does.
Could be, I don't know.
At the end, I think Sub-Zero says like they sent Smoke after you instead of after me or something like that.
Could be, yeah.
Sub-Zero warns Liu Kang and Katana to go, as there'll be others. Liu Kang says how he killed Sub-Zero in the tournament. Liu Kang, in fact, had killed his older brother. He helped Katana, as she is apparently the key to stopping Khan. So Sub-Zero wants to stop Khan and stop the worlds from merging. I think in the first film, Sub-Zero was under Shang Tsung's control.
Yes, so was Scorpion.
That's why they did what they did, because they're bitter of enemies, but under his control, they were his lackeys. That explains why Sub-Zero is good in this. Well, not good, but he's not as evil as the first one because he hasn't got the mind control. Sub-Zero uses his ice powers to make an ice bridge. The CGI is just bad.
It's terrible.
Scorpion shows up and fights Sub-Zero. Scorpion almost finishes off Sub-Zero, so Liu Kang goes to save Sub-Zero. When he does this, Scorpion teleports over to Katana and teleports away. Suckers! He goes like, suckers! I'm like, oh, that's weird. And that's the last time you see Scorpion.
Yeah, which makes no sense.
You'd think he'd be the general or something.
Even Sub-Zero doesn't come back.
No, I would pick Scorpion over any of the other generals, because he can fight. Straight after this, Liu Kang, in the calmest voice possible, says how he must go after Katana. He's like, no problems. Like, he's not panicky, he's not emotional, he's just calm.
Oh, he's been through one movie already. Give him a break, okay? Jeez.
It's weird how he has no emotion at all about his love being kidnapped by the bad guys.
Kissy, kissy, kissy.
I love you, Liu Kang. Katana!
Meh.
Sub-Zero tells Liu Kang to concentrate on finding Nightwolf and not to go after Katana. That would be just what Khan wants.
See, how does he know about Nightwolf? And that he has to go find him?
Because plot reasons?
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe Raiden went and said, hey, can you help out them? They're going to get killed by Smoke. Because it explains where he knows where they are. I guess like Smoke was going after him, but then he changed to them. Maybe he just got told by Raiden, hey, you should probably go check the guy out because he's probably going to kill you next. Liu Kang turns away from Sub-Zero, then turns back only for Sub-Zero to have Batmaned away. And there you go. Mention of Batman again. I try to mention Batman as much as I can in a podcast.
Yeah, and you've also already done your...
What's going on?
Yeah, you already done that once.
Meanwhile, Raiden and Sonya end up outside a medical research facility in Hawaii. You notice that was at the building where Jax is actually in Hawaii? I froze the picture and saw what the factory said.
Weird.
So they're actually in Hawaii. It goes from daylight to a really fake purple. These effects. Ugh. Sonya enters the facility and rescues Jax. Now Jax has metal arms. And I thought this movie that it meant that he must have lost his arms, but no, he just wants metal arms for no reason.
Yeah, he's just got, I don't know, robotic pieces attached to him that's not his actual arms.
Yeah. Which is weird.
Yeah.
Sonya and Jax fight Cyrax. Cyrax lets out some bombs before walking real slow Terminator style. Walking through the flames, like even the music is like almost like Terminator. Cyrax's robotic voice is unintentionally hilarious. Like one of those voice enhancers that people who smoke too much get.
No, I would say it's worse than that.
Death is only way out. Meh.
Robot voice says you will die in 3 days.
Would you like to play a game?
Yeah.
More slow-mo fighting. Techno music is the best part of this film.
I think that's going to be a running gag, isn't it? Techno is the best part of this film.
Every time they fight, there's more techno music. It's the best part of it. Cyrax sends out some nanite-like looking stuff at them. Jax blocks it with his arm.
I think it's supposed to be acid.
Is it acid, is it? Okay. Well, it looked like nanites to me.
Yeah, I know.
The effect on his arm looks blurry. Terrible CGI.
Yeah.
This looks so bad. Sonya blows some sulfur. I thought I would actually put a gap in there. Sonya blows some sulfur or gunpowder or something into Cyrax. This mixed with fire causes Cyrax to burn up and look like he's in like a negative photo. Again, great CGI. A mark on Cyrax transforms into a 90s CGI mini dragon and disappears. Cyrax then goes full Predator with a self-destruct mode once defeated.
Yeah, but the Predator had to activate it. Cyrax was already activated, wasn't it?
Built in, I think, yeah. He also had like the dreadlock kind of hair, didn't he, like Predator?
Yeah, he did vote, actually.
The jump from the explosion that Sonya and Jax do is absolutely awful. It's like they're in front of a screen and just jumping.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like Power Ranger bad, man.
Meanwhile, in Outworld, Khan's generals start infighting until Shao Kahn enters and breaks them up.
I honestly thought those two were going to make love. Just the the way they were holding each other in their arms.
Is that Motaro?
Motaro and Shiva.
Shiva, yeah, we're fighting. Then Shao Kahn comes and breaks them up. Khan asks for an update from Earth. Shao Kahn kills a ninja named Rain, as Rain lets someone on Earth.
I forgot that's what he was called, because
Yeah, right.
he
Yeah.
doesn't do anything at all. And
So Shao Kahn kills a ninja named Rain, as Rain lets some of Earth's fighters survive. Must have been off screen, because we didn't see any of that.
no, it was because they mentioned both Stryker and Kabul.
It would have been cool to see them two, because they were better
Yeah.
than half the bloody cast in this.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Liu Kang is walking in the desert. It turns to night. Liu Kang hears animal noises from all around him.
Those are some really weird animals. They're like mutant modified animals or something.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Then he's attacked by a wolf that turns into a man. Not a werewolf, though. I got Nightwolf here. Pretty cool, huh? It's my animality.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't cool. It looked pretty bad. That's what I said.
But if you think about it,
Compared on a scale.
compared it on a scale to what's coming up in the future, it is actually pretty cool.
On a scale of this movie, this is like a 9 effect out of 10. Yeah. Compared to the rest.
Which is like a 2 effect out of 10.
So on an Annihilation scale, this gets a 9. The dialogue between Liu Kang and Nightwolf feels stilted and awkward. Nightwolf tells Liu Kang that he must pass 3 tests. The first test involves knocking Liu Kang out and having him have these nightmares. Apparently he needs to find his faith and unlock his animality. Liu Kang then wakes up in the snow. He is then greeted by a new character called Jade.
Called Hello Nurse.
She's an interesting character when you first meet her. Like, oh, hello, who's this? Oh, okay, she's just got to squash his face into her breasts. Yeah,
Yep.
perfect. She starts to get real friendly with him up here, but his heart belongs to another. Jade then transforms into fighting gear and fights Liu Kang. Liu Kang wins and passes the test. Do you think there really was a test for Nightwolf, or she's just screwing him over?
Probably.
I don't know. It never tells you if she technically was part of the test. Maybe Nightwolf testing her about how much she trusts people. I don't know. Jade says she will lead Liu Kang to Katana. Liu Kang says he can't, as there is still another test. Jade tells him there is no time. So even in this movie, there's no time to actually have the rules to the movie. You got to pass 3 tests. Oh wait, you haven't got enough time. Don't worry about it.
And I might not even have been a test.
Just go on, you know? Who cares about the other parts of the story? Meanwhile, in Outworld, Shao Kahn has Katana in a cage. Shao offers her water, but she spits it back in his face. Katana is bait for the others. Meanwhile, Sonya and Jax are walking in a Rocky Mountain area. Sonya comes across a disturbing-looking statue and is then attacked by Melina, a clone of Katana. Don't think they mention this in the film. Sonya and Melina start mud wrestling, then fighting. Because I don't think they actually say her name's Melina in this. I just knew that again from the cast, from looking at the cast.
I think that's the same. I think she at one point says, Katana? And she's like, you wish. Yeah, I do wish, because she was attractive. You're not.
And then Jax says, like, you look pretty good in mud. He says that to...
Yeah, and she's like, oh, Jax. It's like, yeah.
Sonya and Melina start mud wrestling and fighting. When Sonya defeats Melina, one of those dragon tats come off her shoulder and CGI's away. Then a disturbing-looking statue comes to life as a really, really, really bad-looking CGI creature. So if that Nightwolf scene was a 9, this would be a -5.
Yeah.
It was, oh,
So bad.
really bad looking. Jack fights it and sends it underground. He's like,
Oh, it gets beaten so easily.
punches it a few times.
It's like inconveniently getting punched in the leg. You're like, you just see it. It doesn't look like it's getting hurt. It just looks like it's getting annoyed. And then he punches it back into the ground somehow.
So stupid. Meanwhile, Raiden goes to talk to the Elder Gods. Raiden asks the gods to help stop Shao Kahn. They won't. They just say that if Katana is the key to closing the portals, then the gods ask Raiden if he loves humanity enough to sacrifice his immortality. Why is Raiden being punished by the gods? This makes no sense.
Because plots.
Because they want him to be having a haircut and come back later on.
Yeah.
I'll be in the movie if I can have a nice looking haircut. Okay then.
Yeah, I'll be in the movie if I can have my haircut that I had in the Phantom movie.
Yeah, but blonde. No, it's bleach blonde. Jax and Sonya are walking through a desert. They meet up with Jade and Liu Kang. They run from Khan's extermination squads. The group is then joined by Raiden, who has a new haircut. There he is.
There he is.
So it's this really bad backflip. I slowed down the scene and Raiden just appears in the shot mid-spin from nowhere. Liu Kang tells Raiden what happened to Katana. Raiden tries to open a portal to Outworld, but his powers are fading. Shao Kahn is now in the desert with Sindao. He orders her to use her voice to destroy everything. Especially uses her voice to blast the sides of the walls, which it would be more like earthquakes, wouldn't it?
They wouldn't blast away from the wall. They'd just fall off the wall, crumble off the wall and stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. Even after she stopped, it's still doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
The cliffs around the group are blowing up. Raiden manages to open the portal just in time. Shao Kahn smiles. They have taken the bait.
He sounds like a Muppet now. It's like a really angry Fozzie the Bear. They have taken the bait.
Now he sounds almost French. What's going on?
Well, it's this movie.
They have taken the bait. In Outworld, the group sees floating broken bridges and cars. Apparently things have been caught in between worlds. Jade says she knows a secret way into Shao Kahn's castle. Apparently Jade used this way to escape. Shao and Daddy Khan talk about how Shao blew up the ancient temples. Daddy Khan is not happy. He's upset because he thinks it will upset the elder gods. You shouldn't, toy with them. You should not have done that, son. You should not have done that with my weird accent. The group come across Adenia, Katana's royal temple. They are greeted by Queen Sindel, screaming and jumping around like a bad music video. Raiden fights a bunch of reptile ninjas, or dancers.
Yeah, it was a great dance scene, man. It wasn't a fight scene. They were just dancing.
A lot of spin kicks into nothing.
They were both spin kicking at the same time and missing each other. It looked so stupid.
This one seems more like a dance than a fight. Raiden meets up with the others. Jade claims she surprised Sindel from behind and took her out. Raiden seems doubtful of Jade. Shao Kahn has a final day of mankind party. Even brings the Eiffel Tower with him for this one. As he's talking, the Eiffel Tower's like, whoop, behind him.
Yeah.
Hello.
I don't think mankind would have been in this movie.
Mick Foley? No, he wouldn't have been. He would tell him, have a nice day, though. Liu Kang enters the main chambers through a secret tunnel. He finds Katana in a cage, but is attacked by swinging creatures. They are the same kind of creatures as Baraka, but you think Baraka is actually the one in the white shirt?
Yeah, I think he is. And the others are his kind, which is the Tarakatan or whatever it is that I can't pronounce.
Tarakatans?
Yeah, or whatever it is.
There's Baraka's boys.
Yep.
Liu Kang takes them all down and frees Katana. Sheena, is it Sheena?
Shiva.
What did I put Sheena for? Old Sheena from down the road. You remember Sheena from down the road? Yeah, she told me that Phil's going to have a baby. Shiva comes into the room, but Liu Kang and Katana just drop the cage on her, crushing her. She was pretty much a wet fart in this film. Did nothing.
Oh, I don't know. A wet fart can do something.
But Shiva's only fight scene was getting crushed.
It wasn't even a fight scene. It was a hello squish.
It's funny how they cut the chain with the blade of one swipe, like it's a rope, but it's actually chain.
They didn't cut it either. They threw something at it, like ninja stars or something. Or maybe the sword, they threw the sword at it.
Yeah, and it just knocked off the chain and crushed her.
And she was dead.
That was the end of her. Liu and Katana meet up with the others. Raiden tells Katana that her love can break the spell on her mother and close the portals to Earth. Katana kisses her mum erotically on the forehead.
Ew.
Katana kisses her mum on the forehead as lightning crashes down. Sindel wakes up. Looks like she has been freed. Oh, no. Lightning strikes again, and Sindel is laughing maniacally. Like a witch. Raiden is shocked that it did not work. Jade then calls them all fools. It was a trick. It's like the legend was a lie. Shao Kahn's portals stay open. But why'd she expose herself there? Because she didn't need to.
For the same reason everyone else exposes themselves.
Because she goes, yeah, I'm a bad person. And then Liu Kang's like, you know what? You're going to die for this. And she's like, oh no. And then she tries to run away. And it's like, I can't win this. Even because he just said bad words to me. That's when she just decides to change her whole persona and run away. It's like, why did you expose yourself if you weren't ready to take them on? Silly. Sindel starts spinning like Wonder Woman, laughing as she goes. Jade sneaks away while Sindel flies away. The gods must have lied to Raiden. Sonya then notices a tattoo on the back of Raiden's shoulder. The same dragon tattoo as the one Cyrax and Melina had. The tattoo is a family crest, one only to Raiden's bloodline. It apparently allows safe passage through the portals for the bearer and his passengers. If the dragon flies out of the tattoo, they are already temps and do not share Raiden's bloodline. Raiden's dad is an elder god, and Shao Kahn is, dun dun dun, Raiden's brother.
Spoiler alert!
Just like, it's the second worst of the worst, and we've already had 2 dun 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 moments. Man, this is just a bad soap opera now. Jade goes back to Shao Kahn. Jade and Sindel explain how they couldn't lead the group as ordered. They would have died trying. Which is like, you guys just were stupid and tried to fight them when you weren't ready, and then like, oh, nah, we're not going to fight you now, we're just going to run away. And then Jade gets killed by Shao Kahn.
No, she gets killed by the creature thing that comes out of the wall.
Yeah, but that's Shao Kahn orders it to kill her. Because like, got here, Jade gets eaten by one of those awful CGI monsters. It's like, ugh, that -5 monster again comes back. Shao Kahn plans for Raiden, as Raiden will plan one last attack on his temple, apparently. Raiden tells a story about how his dad said that the heir to the throne must be strong enough to kill his own brother. Raiden defeated Kahn, but could not kill him. Now he knows, though, that Kahn must die. But Raiden can't do it. Liu must do it, because Raiden can't be bothered doing anything in these movies.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I can't do it because I'm a god and I can't get involved in the first one. And this one's like, you know, you guys have got to fight because I'm going to lose all my powers. Then he's also a good fighter as a human. He's like, no, I can't do it because I don't want to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Raiden, just do something, you lazy man. He's the laziest god I've seen. You see that? That's right. I think Raiden's the laziest god. If you disagree with me, email me at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com. The group set out to fight Kahn. Liu Kang's home is here, his temple of the light. They enter the temple. Shao Kahn has his mask back on. Yay! Because the other version was terrible. Daddy Kahn offers Raiden one last chance to rejoin his family and rule. But Raiden says Earthrealm is his family. Shao Kahn fireballs Raiden again. Now that Raiden's mortal, the fireball kills him.
Yeah.
Pretty useless, Raiden.
Yeah.
I'm proud to die as immortal. It's like, yeah, you didn't last long, did you? You did last long. Jax fights Motaro, while Katana fights her mother.
Technically, though, he did last longer than Shiva did.
He did in this movie, but not as the persona he was, because she was around for a long time. Shiva was the bodyguard, I think, to Queen Sindel. Jax fights Motaro, while Katana fights her mother. And Sonya fights a red ninja that we don't know the name for. Doesn't say who the name is.
Could be another Rain.
Could be. What other names haven't been taken? Sunset? Maybe his name's Sunset.
Yeah. Sunset Flip.
A Red Dawn.
Yeah. Oh.
Sindel. Is that any way to treat your mother? Katana's like, my mother's dead. Sindel's like, as soon will be her daughter. It's like, what does it make sense? As soon will be your daughter? Will be her daughter? What do you mean as soon? Doesn't make any sense, but that's what it says. And I looked up the subtitles, yeah, it said that, and I also listened to make sure that that's what she said, and it was, as soon will be her daughter. Is that like supposed to be fancy? It doesn't make sense to me.
Nope. But neither does this whole movie.
There is a lot of zoomed over shoulder fighting shots here. Doesn't look great. Liu Kang climbs the stairs to meet Shao Kahn, who again has taken off his mask.
Just like Kane, you should have kept your mask on, buddy.
Why take the mask off? Goodness gracious. There is a shot of Shao Kahn smiling. Then it cuts away, and they assert some laughing in. But when they cut back to his face, he's not laughing. It's a bit weird. It's like, oh god. Shao Kahn then flips forward to meet Liu Kang. He's going head first, but then they quickly edit him to be landing on his feet. Yeah. That's the sort of brilliant editing and CGI you can expect from this terrible film. He doesn't flip around, they just seem to ignore the flip. It's like, oh, let's just change it. No one will notice. I noticed. Alright. The fighting is just crap in his final battle. Very basic, very slow, mainly kicks to arms and flips. Motaro rips off one of Jax's metal arms, exposing his normal arm underneath. It's weird that Jax has normal arms underneath. I thought, at least in most Mortal Kombat games, that Jax had the metal arms inserted in or put on because he lost his original arms. So it's weird he does that. Sonya continues her average fight against the Red Ninja. He uses lame CGI against her. Jax rips off his other metal arm. He's just a normal guy again now. All the heroes are losing their fights. But then more techno music kicks in, and they start to fight back.
Yeah.
That's the techno music is the real hero.
Yep, that's the one.
Jax pounds Motaro, while Katana smacks her mum around. Sonya does a leg toss with a neck-breaking twist at the end. Fatality.
Oh, come on, Sonya, give us a break.
Ah, okay. Katana makes her mum watch Liu Kang fight Shao Kahn. I'll make you watch.
Peter, it's making me watch.
Kahn seems to be getting the better of Liu Kang, though. This is until Liu Kang unleashes his animality. Ugh. It becomes an incredibly ballooning dragon. Ballooning dragon? What?
Sweet.
It becomes an incredibly bad-looking dragon.
I would stick with the ballooning.
Ballooning. But then Shao Kahn also transforms into his animality, an equally unimpressive-looking four-headed hydra.
Yeah.
Sometimes 90s, maybe you shouldn't.
That should be the slogan for this movie. Sometimes 90s, maybe you shouldn't.
The CGI monster fight has a cutaway of close-ups of the other characters looking on. They're like, it's just a cutaway from the bad CGI. So,
What's happening? What's going on here?
The monster fight is just a mess of strange noises mixed in with confusing animation.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Liu Kang and Shao Kahn revert back to human form after they fall off the top of the temple. I never thought I'd be so happy to see them as humans again, but thank God.
Yeah.
Shao Kahn starts to bleed, apparently for breaking the sacred rules of Mortal Kombat. The gods have made Kahn mortal. Daddy Kahn looks to get involved in the fight, but then a CGI flame man falls from the sky, but then another being appears next to him.
CGI Flame Man and CGI Water Woman.
But then a CGI flame man falls from the sky, and a CGI water woman joins them. The Elder Gods have arrived. The Elder Gods put their hands on Daddy Khan's shoulders, which stops him from attacking for some reason. Female God says, "The fate of the universe will be decided as it should be." And what does the male God say? "In Mortal Kombat."
Yeah, and a voice like that too.
Yeah, in Mortal Kombat. The kick-ass theme makes a timely welcome return. Love the music. So back is the meh, 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 meh. Khan beats down Liu Kang, only for Liu Kang to fight back. Liu Kang hits Shao Kahn with some sweet kick moves, leg sweeps, and Frankensteiners. All in slow-mo, of course. The backflip mule kick to the face is so sweet they had to show it from multiple angles. Again, and again, and again.
From different angles this time. But we've already done this scene.
Are these real x-rays? Good question. We'll ask somebody.
Are these real dragons and hydras? Good question. We'll ask somebody.
Daddy Khan gets sent to the Phantom Zone while Shao
That's so silly. Oh.
While Shao Kahn has a dragon come out of him from under his skin. Did you see the effect of when Shao Kahn becomes that dragon? Yeah. His skin looks so awful. Like, the effect, again, looks so awful. It looks like a school kid did it in a 90s Photoshop program. The dragon disappears, though. Earth transforms back to normal. Everyone is safe. Sindel is free from Shao Kahn's curse, and is normal and good again. The gods revive Raiden. They want him to take Shinnok's place as a god. Ah, okay, so Daddy Khan's name was Shinnok. This is the first time they mentioned that in the whole movie. Thanks for telling me at the end of the film.
They probably just thought, well, we better tie this together.
Then Raiden becomes a genie and turns into fumes before disappearing because he raises his hands and here's the fumes. He's like a damn genie. I dream of a better movie.
Yeah, me too.
The heroes walk away hand in hand, cut to the Mortal Kombat logo. And that, Jeff, is the end of the film.
Yay!
We got through it in timely fashion. Okay, Jeff, so that was Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Let's go to our ratings for the film, shall we?
No. I don't want to.
Nobody does. It's Bennett.
Number 1, Jeff, how entertaining is the film? That's 1 being bad and 5 being great.
Okay, so I put 3.5 because even though the CGI was terrible, some of the action was terrible, the music was great, and some of the action was good.
I've given it a 2 because I think the music was really good.
For me, it got the 3.5 because of the music. The music saved it for the entertainment factor.
Yeah, I would have given it a 1 if it wasn't for the music. Right, so how intentional is the quality? This way is how deliberate. Is it supposed to be super serious, or is it kind of tongue-in-cheek and kind of deliberately trying to be bad at editing? I think it's supposed to be very serious. It just didn't do it well. I've given it 1.
Guess what? Me too.
You got a 1?
Yep, 1.
So for question 3, Jeff, how much does it affect the franchise? 1 being it's affected it immensely, and 5 being it didn't affect it at all.
So I would give it a 1 then. Because if you think about it, it took them a long time to put another movie out.
Yeah, this ended the series. Yeah. This movie was so bad because they actually had Robin Chow contracted for 3 films, but this movie was so bad they didn't make a sequel to this one. So I've given it a 1 as well because it has to be. It actually killed the franchise. A franchise that looked like it was blossoming just got destroyed by this film. Yeah. So it's definitely a 1 for me too. Quality of casting, Jeff. I've given it a 1.
Oh, okay.
I've given it a 1 because, yes, Robin Chow is okay in it, but everyone else, everybody else in this film, I just thought was horrible.
Yeah, I'd give it a 2 because Robin was still in it, and the lady who played Katana was still in it, and they brought back another actor, but he was a different character. He was Sub-Zero in this one, but he was actually Reptile in the first one. But other than that, it wasn't great. No.
Katana wasn't in enough. She was in it at the start and at the end. Wasn't enough for me, I can say. That's why I gave it a 1. Right, would you watch it again, Jeff?
1.
You go to 1?
Yeah.
I gave it a 2 because of the music.
Oh, no. 1. The music was great, but it just, no. I don't want to watch that again, thank you.
It's one that I won't hurry to watch again because it was terrible, but the music and some of the lines were so funny that I might go back and watch it again.
Quick, make me forget that one.
So, out of all those, Jeff, how intentional the film was, you gave it a 3.5. I gave it a 2. For how intentional is the quality, we both gave it 1 each. For how much does it affect the franchise, we both again picked 1. So 1 and 1. The quality of casting, you picked 2 and I picked 1. Would you watch it again? I picked 2 and you picked 1. So out of a possible 50 stars, Jeff, we have given it 15.5 stars out of 50 stars. If we look at the rankings for that, with Wolverine, I was saying how I didn't like Wolverine much. We gave that 27.5 stars out of 50. It almost got 10 stars. It got over 10 stars more than this movie. So
terrible.
on our rating scale of movies, we've got, if it's 10 points or under, it's true to the worst of the worst. If it's between 11 and 20, it's one of the bad ones. If it's between 21 and 30, it's not half bad. If we give it between 31 and 39, it's an underappreciated gem. Yeah. And if we give it between 40 and 50, then it doesn't belong on this list and will be drafted into the MRU list. This one with 15.5 stars falls into the one of the bad ones category. Yeah. And boy, howdy is it. This one's going to be hard to beat. 15.5 stars out of a possible 50. Races it to number 1 in the worst of the worst, ahead of Wolverine, which I would watch any time of the week over this film.
Yeah, me too. Sorry, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but you just annihilated my hopes and dreams of ever wanting to watch this movie again.
I watched the first one again, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, that first one was amazing.
Right, so now that we've rated the film, Jeff, and gone through it with me, what can you think of that could have improved this film?
The CGI.
Yeah, I've got that as well.
Yeah, I would say the CGI, the casting choices, and perhaps the story. I think the story needed a bit of fixing too, but mostly I think they should have not gone the way they had with the CGI. I think if you took that movie, same story, same cast, even though they're not great, and just got rid of the CGI, it might work.
Yeah, I think there's a way to make this into a better film in the 90s that they didn't. They just thought, we have this bigger budget, let's just go nuts with CGI, and it did not work.
No, it really didn't.
For me, I've got 5 points here, Jeff. I've got better fighting scenes. I think the fighting scenes should be better. A Mortal Kombat film needs to nail this part, especially. And I don't think the fighting scenes are up to scratch.
Not really, no.
A story closer to the games. I think something based on the games. Like after the tournament, there's actually some interesting stuff they do with Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. They could have invested into, but they didn't. Don't use the CGI. It doesn't work, like you said. Yeah. I've put don't get too ambitious, and that's part of the reason they did CGI. They thought they got more ambitious about how big a story they wanted to tell. Yeah. And they really couldn't really match that with what they had at the time. They should have realized that and gone either more practical or just go for a story that's not such a huge scope.
Yeah.
You can have Shao Kahn come into the Earth without having to go to the outworld and showing you all this fantastical stuff.
And also, another one that I'd like to point out is don't make them all related.
It's a trope, isn't it?
It was so bad. Like, Shao Kahn and Raiden aren't related. As far as I'm aware, Shinnok and Shao Kahn aren't related. Sindel and Katana aren't related.
They're not.
I don't think so. I would have to double check. Yeah. In fact, you know, this could be something that somebody could email in about and say, hey, you're wrong. They're actually related.
Yeah, if you go to nobodydoesitbennett at outlook.com or on the Twitter at nobodydibennett, who knows?
Yeah, but for most part, I'm pretty sure they're not related, especially not Raiden and Shao Kahn.
Felt like Joker killing Batman's parents. It just wasn't needed.
Oof.
My last point here, I've got better actors and actresses, and this is one you might go ooh about. But I think Robin Shaw is the only actor I like in this. Even that's including Katana. I think she's kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Very one note.
Katana was still the same actor that she was in the first one. I just don't think they put her in the story enough. Yeah.
She seems
She
bored.
probably realised how bad the movie was going to be and was like, yeah, I'm just not going to give it my best.
Right, well, those are the 5 points I got that we could go with. I'd like to thank Rach for coming up with the idea of thinking about what we could do to improve the film, because it's one thing to rip a film apart like we kind of have in this one, because how can you not?
It was really, really hard to find any good points.
But we did find some good points, but also if we're going to rip something apart, at least we should have the ability or just the sense to actually put down what we think could have made it better. Because one thing to say a movie is crap, but it's another one to say it was crap, but if they did this, maybe it could have been better. Yeah. We're looking for, I would love to see a better Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but unfortunately we didn't get that. If you like what you're hearing or have some movie choices you wish for us to cover, why not contact us? Who knows, your movie might just be covered. You can message us through the Nobody Does It Bennett Facebook page, or by hitting us up on the Twitter at NobodyDIBennett. That's NobodyDIBennett on Twitter. You can also email us at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com. That's Bennett with 2 N's and 2 T's. Thank you, Jeff, for once again coming along for this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Don't say sorry to me, say sorry to my kids.
And thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time. Remember, some others may do it better, but nobody does it Bennett. All right, see ya. Bye.
It's the end of the show, and now it's time to go. Don't be sad, just be glad that nobody does it better.